Janet Jackson hasn't said much, and somehow that silence has become the loudest reaction of all. As Michael, 2026, moves closer to release, fans expected statements, support, or at least visible involvement from Michael Jackson's most famous sibling. Instead, what they got was distance. No interviews breaking down the film, no public praise, no clear approval. And for someone as media-aware and intentional as Janet Jackson, that absence hasn't gone unnoticed. Because Janet isn't just Michael's sister, she's a global icon in her own right. She understands fame, scrutiny, and what it means to have your life edited by the public, which is exactly why people are watching her so closely right now. Janet has always been careful when it comes to Michael's legacy. In past interviews, she defended him fiercely, but she also avoided feeding media cycles that turned pain into spectacle. She knows how quickly stories can lose nuance once they become entertainment, and that history makes her current silence feel deliberate, not accidental. Some fans interpret her quietness as approval. They believe Janet trusts the process, trusts the family, and trusts the filmmakers enough to step back. Others read it very differently. To them, the lack of visible enthusiasm suggests discomfort, not anger, not rejection, but caution. And that's what makes this moment so tense. Because if anyone understands how Hollywood reshapes narratives, it's Janet Jackson. She's lived through decades of being misunderstood, simplified, and judged. She's seen how public perception hardens once a story is told a certain way. So when a biopic claims to define Michael Jackson for a new generation, it makes sense that she would move carefully. What's also fueling speculation is how Janet has chosen her words whenever Michael is mentioned. She often speaks about him as a brother first, not a legend, as a human being, not an icon. That perspective doesn't always align with how biopics are structured, where lives are condensed, conflicts are resolved, and emotional clarity is prioritized over complexity. And that raises a difficult question. Can a film ever capture the Michael Janet knew? The brother behind the scenes, the man away from the cameras, the person who didn't fit neatly into headlines. Janet has never claimed ownership over Michael's story, but she has always protected its emotional core. And right now, that protection looks like restraint, like observation, like choosing not to shape the conversation publicly until the film speaks for itself. Some insiders suggest Janet doesn't want to influence expectations. Others believe she's waiting to see how the story is framed before reacting. And some fans think her silence is a quiet test of respect, of accuracy, of intention. Whatever the reason, it's working. Because the absence of Janet's voice has created more discussion than any statement could. People are asking why she isn't front and center, why she hasn't become the film's strongest supporter, why someone so close to Michael would choose distance at such a critical moment. And maybe the answer is simple. Janet Jackson understands that legacies don't need noise to survive. They need care. She knows that once this film releases, it will influence how Michael is remembered long after debates fade. And perhaps she believes that the most powerful response isn't immediate praise or public criticism, but patience. Because silence, when chosen carefully, isn't absence, it's control. And in a story where everyone is fighting to define Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson may be doing something far more strategic, refusing to rush memory and letting history reveal itself on its own terms.